President of the United States has filed a motion to intervene at the Supreme Court in the case involving Texas and 4 states. Also, 17 states have filed briefs in support of Texas. The case has changed drastically in the last 24 hours.
The constitutional issue surrounding Article 2 of the Constitution, the so-called Electors Clause, is in play, and each and every state in the United States has an interest in this particular case going before the United States, because to the extent that State A engages in misconduct in violation of the United States Constitution, that then dilutes the vote of each and every citizen in each and every state.
There are multiple issues on which the court has to address. It is a motion to have a bill of complaint granted. It is a motion for a preliminary injunction. It is a motion for a stay pending that injunction. It is a motion also for an administrative stay. That can be done by a justice. All of that is pending. All of that's being responded to. So we will know, I think we will have an idea when we have their briefs, I can kind of guess what they're going to say. And then I think the next thing to look for is, what does the court do? Do they grant the case, which Justice Thomas and Justice Alito think is mandatory? In other words, original jurisdiction means you have to take the case. Or do the other justices prevail and it becomes discretionary and they don't take the case? And if they do take the case, do they have oral argument? Do they not have oral argument?
Nobody is asking the Supreme Court to decide the election. What they are saying is this: actions by non-legislative election officials in the defendant states, people like the secretaries of state, those actions which were not authorized or ratified by the state legislature were unconstitutional. That's the heart of this case.
Look, the court could also deny it. They could say, you know what, we've looked at it. No, we're not going to even accept the jurisdiction. They could say, we've looked at it. Here's the opinion. They could say, we're granting it. We're going to have oral argument Saturday. I have no idea. I mean, they could do any of those things.
The Supreme Court will not determine the winner of this election. It will simply decide, or could decide, that the 4 defendant states have engaged, if you will, in misconduct, meaning that the administrative/executive branch usurped the power and authority of the legislative branch, and it's up to the legislative branch to reclaim its authority and then select electors or decline to do so.
It's a problem when you don't have a national standard for voting. So the ability to diminish or dilute the vote of a sister state is very real. For instance, if the state of Texas has a requirement that you have to have ID, it's got to have a security envelope signed on the inside, and the state of Georgia says, no, we'll just take anybody who comes in. Well, there's going to be a lot of ballots thrown out in Texas that would have counted in Georgia. So that's where all this comes in.
The elections have to be conducted in accordance with what state law says. These 4 states didn't do that. Therefore, their electors should not be qualified to vote.
Justice is supposed to be blind. The media is not supposed to matter. They're supposed to decide it on the facts and the law here. It's really law-based, legally based. I would think there'd be 5 votes, I'm guessing, but there are consequences to these 5 votes. So that look at the state statutes and say that what the administrative agencies or the Secretary of State did was in contravention to the statute, go back to the legislatures. Now, that's me thinking what it should be. That doesn't mean that's what it will be. As it relates to the other states coming in, yeah, it helps. It helps in this context. Number one, it gets another brief before the court. But it shows that there's a lot of, you got basically 18, 20 states saying, we don't like the way this went down. So I think it adds to the serious nature of this.